The Czechs learnt this morning they're soon to be redeployed.
I kept my word, and I've told no one that you're here.
They can't go back.
It's mine.
The book, yes. The contents, most definitely not.
You saved 9 men.
You're a hero, son.
No.
I thought inviting you here might be the best way. To ask you to marry me.
I will.
We're shutting your factory down, Mrs. Barden, with immediate effect.
Scour the outhouses. Yes, sir. What? We have permission to search your property.
For what?
We'll be quick.
I was nervous to begin with. Working here is one thing, but it hardly prepares you for radio operator training.
I imagine it must be very technical.
You can't make mistakes when you're talking to pilots on ops against the Germans. Ops means operations, by the way.
Oh, is that right?
You have to be prepared for every eventuality because, as my instructor says all the time, your first shift could be your worst shift.
Well, it's lovely of you to come back and see us, isn't it, Pat?
I've always believed, as we move forward in life, it's important not to forget the people we leave behind.
And it's an honour to linger in your thoughts.
I'm sure.
It took Peter 23 years to build up this business. 4 months for me to bring it to its knees. When I took over, I trusted Taylor without a moment's hesitation. That he brought criminals into this business is utterly incredible.
Lyons must have paid him a great deal of money.
I hope it rots in his pockets in jail. If the ministry shuts us down, there'll be no business to sell. I'll be lucky to avoid prison myself.
This isn't your fault.
If not mine, who else's?
You're lucky you caught me. I was just about to leave. To meet your fiancé.
Well, the council had to change her mind before it's too late.
The wedding committee meeting. To finalise the responsibilities for the reception.
Look, I didn't want to burden Teresa with this so soon before the wedding, but I needed someone to talk to, and the best person I could think of was you. One of my young airmen has gone missing.
What?
For nearly a week. We've searched local farms, woodland, no sign. And the thing I can't seem to shake is feeling that I failed in my duty of care.
Why would you think that?
I clearly failed to see how much pressure he was under.
It must be difficult to notice when everyone's knuckling down to the job in hand.
I'm his commanding officer. Why didn't he regard me as someone he could confide in?
I told Adam years ago that his dog collar doesn't make him omniscient. It just makes him think that he should be. Beneath the uniform, you're just men trying to do your best in extraordinary circumstances. If he's caught, what will happen to him?
Let's just say it would be best all round if he returned of his own volition. Knew I was right.
About what?
Coming to see you. I should be going. I'll see myself out.
Right. Looking down the list. Oh, I think everything's covered except for decorating the hall for the reception.
I'd say you're all set.
Thank you so much. You've all been fantastic.
Sorry I'm late. Errands to run.
Oh, we didn't have hall decorations when we got married. Didn't even have a hall. Oh. Just a barn with a leaky roof.
Me and Bryn had a guard of honour when we came out of the church. 5 butchers on either side, with their arms aloft, holding gleaming cleavers.
What was it about Bryn that made you certain he was the man for you?
Oh, Aunt Susie. Once I met Bryn, I knew I'd never want anyone else. Oh. Why? What was it about Will?
The same.
What was it about Mr. Sims?
He was very kind. And he shared my love of literature.
So, what is it about Nick?
Well, I had a feeling once I'd met him that he'd be the only man for me.
You're very good at posting the letters. Little postman in the making, aren't you? Mrs. Cameron. Or Mrs. Cameron.
And who might this young man be?
My name is Noah.
Noah. What a lovely name.
He's staying with Mrs. Barton while his grandparents find a new place to live. The street in Liverpool was badly bombed during a raid.
Very pleased to meet you, Noah. And if you're staying with Mrs. Barton, you'll be in very good hands.
And if they aren't hers, she's taking him in, but it seems to be everyone else looking after him. Mainly Claire.
No doubt Mrs. Barton is busy at the factory. As enjoyable as it may be, riding with Mr. Wilson, young man, handling the Royal Mail really should be undertaken by post office employees.
Sorry.
He's not really handling the mail, Mrs. Cameron. He's posting them for me. And make sure all the letters go in the right place.
I'm sure you do, Mr. Wilson.
We'd best get on.
Enjoy your day, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you.
Sarah? The only thing we haven't managed to find is a tablecloth good enough to set off the wedding cake. I remember there was this really lovely one at last year's Harvest Festival.
Oh,
Was that yours?
oh, it was the best thing I ever made under the banner of the WI. It took me 3 years, mind.
It's beautiful. Any chance?
Of course, I'd be honoured.
Thank you. I'll come back with you and pick it up.
Well, why don't I just pop it round later?
Because I don't want to put you to any trouble.
It's no trouble.
Don't be daft. It's on my way home.
Vance. I can't tell you how good it feels to finally hold this check. So many dark days. And when the book takes off, we'll be able to buy a bigger place. Dine out regularly, buy a car.
I don't want any of those things.
The status that comes from being the wife of a best-selling author.
Ugh, I don't want that.
Well, then what do you want?
Let me make you some lunch. Bob, you must be hungry.
Yeah, I am actually. Quite an appetite. And then after lunch, I'm gonna go and bang this.
Well, I could run to the shop for some ham. If you like, we still have some left on the ration.
There's no need to go out. I'll have whatever you can rustle up from here.
I don't mind.
I said there's no need to go out. So there's no need to go out.
I'm afraid it's out of my hands.
What do you mean, out of your hands? You assured me, whatever the Lions did, the factory would not be harmed.
We assumed they'd simply channel dirty profits from other enterprises through the factory's books. We had no idea that they'd attempt anything as contemptible as this.
I betrayed the trust and loyalty of a very dear friend.
You decided you wanted to serve your country.
Not at the expense of everything else! What's going to happen to the factory?
Its fate lies in the hands of the Air Ministry inspectors.
Neither myself nor Frances Barden knew anything about the substandard silk. I mean, she believes she might end up in prison over this. Could she?
We live in unforgiving times, Mrs. Scotlock.
Oh, God.
Sarah? Hmm? Do you have anyone staying with you at the moment?
No. Why do you ask?
I think you should fetch the police.
Why?
I'm almost certain your house is being burgled.
I understand, and I would have to be a criminal or criminally insane to do that, but I could be facing a charge of treason, for God's sake. Keep trying, Roger, please. I feel I'm fighting for my life here.
Sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Barden. Crookie and Thumbs have invited Isabel, Spencer, and me to join them on their overnight trip to Blackpool this afternoon.
I see.
Claire hasn't had any time off since Mr. Barden's funeral, Mrs. Barden. And I'd quite like to spend some time with my wife.
Well, I understand, of course. Time together is very important in a young marriage. And Noah will almost certainly love Blackpool.
Well, look, Mrs. Barden, thing is...
Time off for Claire means time off, Mrs. Barden. So we won't be taking Noah.
Well, I hope you have a very enjoyable time.
Thank you, Mrs. Barden.
Thank you, Mrs. Barden.
Are you out of your mind, Sarah? My husband's laying his life on the line for his country. Yours is too. And you're harbouring a deserter.
He's not a deserter.
Has he gone back? Well, not yet.
I took pity on him, Steph. If you'd seen the state that he was in, and I don't mean physically.
Sarah, you have to tell the authorities.
Each time I braced myself to do that, a question came into my head. What would Adam do? He would give the boy time to rest, come to his senses, and then hand himself in.
Shouldn't be more than a couple of hours. While I'm gone, I wonder if you wouldn't mind proofreading the first 3 chapters. I think there's some good work in there, some of it less good. Make some notes, and we can discuss it when I get back.
That will take most of the afternoon.
I really appreciate it.
All right.
See you later.
See you later.
Yes, Tabley Wood RAF station, thank you. Hello? I need to speak to Wing Commander Lucas.
Nervous?
Why should it be?
Well, as a compassionate bigamist, I like to ask all my fiancés how they're doing in the run-up to the big day.
You know, I find out something new and interesting about you every time I see you.
That's what I like to see in the run-up to a wedding. The happy couple being happy. And now I'm about to spoil the mood.
You couldn't possibly.
I'm being slated to deliver a few planes over the next few days. If confirmed, it seems unlikely that I'll make it back to Cheshire for the wedding.
I'll send someone to fetch you.
Sir, could I speak to you for a moment?
Yes, of course. Excuse me.
All set?
Set?
The wedding?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Excited?
Extremely.
It's a big step.
It is.
Eyelash. May I? Perfect once more.
Hardly.
I do understand why you're marrying Nick.
Because I love him. Why else?
And when I'm in the air, I often look down at the houses below and wonder how many of us have taken refuge in marriage and normality. Hundreds, thousands, more. No way of knowing, of course.
Refuge?
All I'm trying to say is, if you're going to marry Nick, be certain that you can make him happy. Because if you can't be certain, all you'll achieve is to make two very lovely people extraordinarily miserable.
I'm afraid something's come up that I need to attend to. I have to go.
Well, surely no one needs your attention more 2 days before your wedding than the bride-to-be.
This is more pressing. I'll drive you home.
Bye.
Sarah!
It's not ideal, but it will do for a night.
I can't thank you enough for all your help.
I should have enough peace and quiet here to think things through. No candles, no lights.
Nick!
Was he in the vicarage while we were talking?
Sorry, who's in the vicarage?
I can only assume you think you're helping him. You are not. Was he still there, or have you moved him into the church?
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
Honestly. Is that really the word you want to use?
I don't know what you think's going
Sarah,
on here,
stop,
but
before I lose all my respect for you. Someone who cares about you greatly left a message with my secretary. I know.
Nick.
You might at least have had the decency to stop me making a fool of myself in your house while you hid him upstairs. Now, for the last time, where is he?
Just explain something.
Step aside.
How many are you expecting?
No way of telling. Could be 2, could be 22.
You'll be fine. If you'd already come to a decision about your next move, we wouldn't be standing here. Come back to the station with me, and the record will state that you came back of your own accord after a period of going absent without leave. And if I refuse? When you're caught, which you will be, you will almost certainly stand trial for desertion, and there will be nothing I can do. I want to help.
I want to thank you all for coming this evening to this first meeting of Great Paxford's very own branch of Soldiers, Sailors, Airmen and Families Association. I only heard of SAFA recently after they helped the mother of a sailor on David's ship trace our address. But knowing what I know now about the work that SAFA does, I wish we'd been in touch with them during that terrible period. That terrible period of...
I couldn't sign up fast enough. When my ship was attacked, I ended up in the water, clinging onto anything that could float. And I thought about everything. But what upset me the most was knowing what my parents would go through if I never came back. War isn't just about the lads that go and fight. It's also about the families we leave behind. And we all go through it together. That's right.
Yeah.
Nick.
I can't tell you how much I wish you'd been able to trust me, because now it seems I'll never be able to trust you again.
That's not fair.
Perhaps not, but that's how it is. I have to go before we waste yet more hours in a search that could have been called off a week ago.
Once we finish this, there's no going back.
Do you want to go back? You sure? You better keep sewing. Nothing gets a wedding off to a bad start more than a bride turning up half-dressed.
I'm ready.
I know Claire reads you a story before you go to bed. You won't mind if I don't?
No.
Wait here and I'll take you up.
Good evening, Francis. Hope I haven't called at an inopportune moment.
I'd invite you in, Joyce, but we have an evacuee staying, and I'm about to put him to bed.
Yes, I met young Mr. Lakin this morning when he was helping Mr. Wilson with his postal rounds, having a fine old time.
Did Noah tell you his surname?
No, he didn't. But this did.
What is it?
Something I confiscated from Miss Marshall a few months ago. After catching her taking notes from conversations at the exchange. Several conversations between Peter and Helen Lakin seems to have drawn her ear. If it's any consolation, I doubt very much Miss Marshall would have made the connections that I made.
And which connections would those be?
I think it is most admirable that you've taken the child in, given the circumstances.
The circumstances being that his street was recently bombed.
In Liverpool, where he lives with his grandparents?
Yes.
Following the recent death of his parents in a tragic car accident in Great Paxford.
His mother died recently in a car accident in Great Paxford. As far as I'm aware, the child never knew his father. That is the way I should like it to stay.
As you wish.
Thank you for calling, Joyce, but I...
Oh, no. That's not the only reason I called. I was emptying some old boxes, and I happened across a trunk that had my son's old toys. And I wondered if Noah might make use of some tin soldiers. Some adults find it hard to lower themselves to a child's level, especially if their child isn't their own. It's a shame to let them rust at the bottom of a trunk.
And the notebook.
Good night, Francis. And good luck.
Noah? Noah?
Oh, Noah.
Thank you, ladies. All decorations on the trestle tables at the back, please. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I saw you at the meeting. It's Katie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed your speech the other night. It was really moving.
That's very kind, thank you.
I hope to see you again sometime.
Sure.
Get move on. We're due our shift in half an hour.
I'm going as fast as I can.
Who's that girl you're talking to?
Someone at the Safa meeting.
She likes you.
She just brought in some decorations.
It's not that she just brought decorations, it's the way she just brought them.
Just stop it, all right?
Why didn't you ask her to the pictures? And one of your marathon walks in the country?
Why do you think?
I don't understand. I could tell how keen she was from up there.
If Tom had what I had on my back, you wouldn't want to kiss him once, let alone as much as you do. No girl would.
That's not true.
That's easy to say.
You're right. Wouldn't want to kiss him once. Want to kiss him 1,000 times for what he'd been through.
You're only saying that.
Some girls might not want to be with you because of your injuries, but no girl worth her salt. And certainly no girl worth you.
Welcome home, Cavalier. Stay on your present course and listen out for our signal. Repeat. Hold your course and listen out for our signal. Over.
I escaped prosecution.
I can't tell you how relieved I am.
But at the cost of cancelling our contracts and closing the factory for good.
Yes.
You knew?
I have a contact in the police who telephoned me this morning.
What do you mean you have a contact within the police?
The same contact who encouraged me to bring the Lyons brothers into the factory.
Knowing they were criminals?
Because they were criminals.
What on earth are you talking about?
I was given an assurance that the Lyons brothers wouldn't be able to harm the business in the long term. An assurance that's turned out to be worthless.
How did you become involved with the police?
I made a single mistake that spiraled into another mistake.
And now into the loss of this factory. The jobs of everyone who worked here, my reputation. While you walk away, scot-free.
I can assure you that that isn't the case. My conscience
weighs heavily upon you.
Extremely.
I have lost everything. Everything. Every single thing. First through Peter, now through you.
I have to get back at the wedding.
After what you've done, how you can show your face in public is utterly beyond me.
You looking for something?
My book?
Mrs. Miniver?
I thought it was in my bag.
I took it back to the library when I banked the check.
I haven't finished it.
I thought you should start to read the books that I like to read. And we can discuss them together, like we used to.
I can't have you choosing which books I read, Bob.
I'm going to get ready for the wedding. I suggest you do the same. Let's show the village what a bona fide literary couple looks like, eh?
Oh, where's Claire?
Putting the finishing touches to the hall. Meeting her at the church.
Do you want to play with us?
After the wedding, I'd love to. I'll be ready to leave in 15 minutes.
Just say if you need to rest.
I'm fine.
Ready?
have this woman to thy wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony. Wilt thou love her, comfort her, honor, and keep her, and forsaking all other, keep thee only unto her, so long as ye both may live?
I will.
Wilt thou have this man as thy wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou obey him and serve him, honor and keep him, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all other, keep thee only unto him, so long as you both may live?
I will.
Who giveth this woman to be married to this man? Then shall they give their troth to each other in this manner. I, Nicholas, take thee, Teresa, to my wedded
Baby's coming.
to have and to hold from this day forward for better.
Bring her into the surgery. Right?
Dad, take that. It's not time yet. Bryn.
All right, Miriam. Very good.
Oh,
fine.
just breathe. God.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Breathe.
Oh.
I'm right here, Miriam. Right here.
I don't want you thinking you have to avoid me because you telephoned him. I thought it was the right thing to do. I'm sorry. It's being resolved. I'm glad.
Anything what love can do, take a little look at me. Yesterday I was so blue, bluer than the deep blue sea. Now I'm singing, whistling a tune all the livelong day. If you want to know just why, I can truthfully say I've got a feeling about her. Was something she said, as she's got me walking on the tip of my toes, and my hands on the side of my head. All my troubles are mended, not needing a tread, cause she's got me walking on the tip of my toes, and my hands on the side of my head.
Do you want another drink?
No, Bob. I want another life.
What did you just say?
I've had enough.
Yeah, I think you probably are.
Of you. I'm going to leave.
Leave? You're gonna leave me when I'm on the verge of success?
I don't want any part of it.
Sit down. Where were you thinking of going? To Marek? Go on then, Bob, be quick. He's leaving in 10 minutes. I would say approximately. You know how fastidious the military is about timekeeping.
How do you know?
From the horse's mouth. I followed you until I finally caught you whoring after that Czech bastard.
You knew all this time.
So much of life is about timing, Patricia.
You're sick!
Sick of your disloyalty. Sick to the back teeth of being disrespected by an ungrateful bitch of a wife.
Ungrateful? What have I got to be grateful for, Bob? The incessant put-downs, the constant disregard, the jealousy towards anything that takes me away from the house. Or should I be grateful for the violence knocking me back into my place, or the way you need to control every hour of my day so that I feel more like a slave than anything resembling a wife? Marek is worth 10 of you. 100. go.
Never, ever.
You're not the man you were.
Don't leave me.
I can truthfully say, I'm feeling about her.
Tamley Wood to Tower 9. Please report.
Anything?
Not yet.
Come in, Clover. Come in, Clover. Come in, Clover.
You're doing brilliantly, Mim.
I can see the crowd, Miriam. Keep pushing.
They can see the crown, Mim.
I'm in labour, not death.
Everything is going terribly well, Bryn. And Miriam is in very good hands. But it has been suggested that your encouragements through the door are proving an unwelcome distraction. So if I may suggest that you make yourself comfortable in the front room, and I will come and fetch you the minute your presence is required.
I was simply lending my support, Mrs. Cameron.
But very loudly.
You come and get me the moment it's out.
The moment it's out.
Control to Clover. Do you read me, please?
Yes.
I'll get the distance elevation.
Okay, Christ, he's coming in low.